Tippy Time, my damies, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of Reviewedly Interrupted with me, your host, Pootie Tang. Alright. Yes, we are still deeply embroiled in the Crite saga. This is the final, so far as I know, and I looked, and so far, yes, this is the final movie, the final film in the Critters franchise. There is also a small web series and stuff which I'm going to check out and do a review for in the next one. So just when you thought it was over, oh no, there's another one. There's a little bit more. And with this one, Critters Attack. You're gonna be like, dude, I didn't even know they made that movie. Some of you might not even have known that they made a movie after the second one. So to know that there's 5 films in the Critters film franchise is probably pretty mind-blowing, isn't it? But yeah, the 5th film, Critters Attack. Let's get into this, because this one is something else. You watch it and I know this is going to be the one out of all of them. Even Critters 4, Critters in Space, even that one. Even I think the third one with DiCaprio, Leonardo DiCaprio. I think this one is going to get even more hate than that one from people that are like, what the fuck? And to a point, I can see it's justified, but we're going to delve into this because I actually kind of had fun with the movie. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great. For a Critters movie, yeah, but we'll get into that. Let's just go to my notes. The notes, the lovely, lovely notes. Let's do this. All right, so Critters Attack. This one came out in 2019. That's a long time since the last one. I mean, 92 to 2019. That's like what, 27 years? 27 years in between part 4 and part 5. That's almost 3 decades. That's a long fucking time to all of a sudden throw a sequel in there. But it's not quite a sequel. You know why? Critters Attack was meant to be a reboot of the franchise. And we will delve into why it didn't quite work and why we haven't heard anything really from the Critters since then. We'll get into that. But 2019, and this one's rated R. And I put in my notes, and I'll say it right now. This one's rated R, but it feels more PG-13 than all the other movies that were rated PG-13. This one is rated R for bloody creature violence, which all the other movies had too. It's amazing how the times have changed, right? Now people are a little more sensitive to the blood and gore, I guess. I don't know, or they had to because, you know, that way kids weren't watching it and freaking out. I don't know. People, they have their reasons and they do shit. I'm not a part of the MPAA. I don't make ratings. I don't understand them. They seem to fluctuate and fuck around, and I don't give a shit. As long as the movie's good, I don't care what it's rated. But yeah, so it's rated R, but it feels more like PG-13 than all the other PG-13 movies. Hour and 29 minutes long, so it's keeping with the whole like short, you know, around an hour and a half running length that all the movies pretty much have. Let's take a look here. See, I'm gonna do a little no, I'm not even gonna do that because we'll get into a recap of that because the next episode is going to be about the web series, the Critters something or I can't remember right now. Fuck it, it doesn't matter. That's next episode. We'll talk about that next episode. But after that, I will do a rundown of the complete franchise, all 5 films on the show, my take on the whole thing. That'll be like the big coup de grace of the Crites in as far as Reviewedly Interrupted is concerned. Yeah, this was a TV movie. Sci-Fi Network, I do believe, bought the rights to this. I think that's what I was reading. And like, I checked out Wikipedia. I wanted to read up on it because it looked like there was a lot of similarities between this and the web series as far as look and design and just all that kind of shit. And I wanted to double check. But yeah, this was a TV movie, and it really does come across because it definitely has that Sci-Fi Network feel. Dee Wallace is the only real cast member which I think anybody might recognize at all. Some of the other characters I think I've seen playing small bits in Sci-Fi Network type movies. You know, those made-for-TV, straight-to-video, fucking whether it's Sci-Fi Network or whatever, you know, just those kind of like movies. It look like that. Directed by Bobby Miller, who directed The Cleanse, which I think I've heard a little bit about, maybe I saw a preview for it, but it sounds like it could be interesting. But this is like the only other real movie that he's directed. And this one has no space prologue going into terrestrial, and also no terrestrial going into space. No terrestrial prologue going into space. It's on Earth. They crash land, fuck it, we're starting here. That's one way you could tell that the budget was even smaller for this one. And we'll get into a little bit more about that when we start talking about the Crites here in a little bit. Like I said, Totes tell at Sci-Fi Network, they definitely have a system. It's almost like they got a board up there with cards, be like, okay, so this time we're gonna have a sheriff, but should we make the sheriff a hero? Should we make him a tragic hero? Should we make him a happy hero? Should we make him he's a drunk. He's a drunk who becomes kind of a hero. We don't know really what to think about. It's like they have index cards where they're like, okay, this is what we're doing. We got our stack. This is the movie this time. After the movie, they put them back up, and then they pick different ones, and then they got their next movie planned out, character-wise and plot-wise. They got systems, they got tropes, they got what they do, and they do it. That's Sci-Fi Network, and I'm actually kind of a fan of it because it's kind of like cheesy. They're like the new cheesy kind of straight-to-video movies, and they're kind of fun. And I love the return of Dee Wallace to the franchise, where she's kind of returning as a character, but also kind of not. I was reading about that. It sounded like, because New Line Cinema is no longer doing this shit. They're gone. It's you could tell it's a much smaller production company. The same producers are doing it, but you could tell it's like they just did not have the budget. They were not going to get the budget to make this film like they had even from the fourth one. So. She's like back as her character, but not. They kind of had to do some shit with that and everything. Probably like if I watch the special features, I'll get more into that and everything. I still haven't watched all the special features for all this shit. I got to spend a day just watching it and just jump straight into the world of the Crites. And I put down, she's like if Charlie had more means and know-how. Because I mean, all of a sudden we see her and she seems like the crazy cat lady, like she's just living in her house with a bunch of cats, but then. The bookcase. I move a book. Oh, secret doorway. What does it go to? My fucking computer room with all this state-of-the-art computers where I'm tracking things and everything. So it's like, so she has means. Because it's like, obviously, if you're on a fixed income, you can't afford that kind of like computer stuff and technology. You just can't. I mean, you can go through TeamU, but it's like, it's not going to be as good quality. So I mean, you want the good stuff. You want the Sony. You want the Panasonic radar trackers. That's what you want. And just the know-how, where it's like Charlie kind of gets the know-how later on. You can see he deals with them enough that he's like, okay, I know what to fucking do. Especially in the fourth one, where he jumps in, he grabs a gun, he's getting ready. He's like, dude, I know what we got to do. So let's do this. But like, whereas like the bounty hunters, in the other movies, they have more know-how, where they're like, boom. Just more. That's the only way I would watch. And then the fact that there's a cassette player in this thing where the guy makes a mixtape of his bagpipe music for the chick on a tape, and she has a cassette player in her old ass fucking station wagon. So it's kind of like strange, where it's like you can tell it's modern. They're all using cell phones and doing all this shit, but then it's like it does throwback shit where it's like I think it's almost. To kind of say like, hey, we're rural again. If we were in the city, it might be a CD player, MP3 player, but we're in the country, so this is an older car that she's got to drive. That's probably a hand-me-down, and it's got the tape player. So okay, I already talked about the generic characters and plots. Like they were using their index cards, and I love the bird shit good luck foreshadowing scene where you show them, I heard that's good luck. Oh really? My luck's probably turned around. We know as soon as that asshole says that, and especially since he didn't knock on wood, his ass is getting eaten by a fucking Crite. We know this shit. That's foreshadowing. That's like gift wrapped foreshadowing. It's like, I really hope I don't open this door and fall into the vacuum of space. And you like, know that he's going to open that door and fall into the vacuum of space because, duh. The irony. We're looking for the irony because irony is a part of horror. A lot of horror is based on irony. And I love how we get an obvious boss Crite like almost right off the bat. It's like, oh, guy with fucked up eye. He's got one eye. Really, he's all one-eye Willie in it and everything. That's the main motherfucker. And the reason we know is he's the first one we notice that is really different. And also, the camera just loves that guy. I mean, just loves him. And he loves the camera. They got this rapport. And so you just see him and you see him and you see him and you know. You got to be a dumbass not to realize, like, okay, that's the guy. That's the bad one. And then the most what the fucking fuck moment in Critters film franchise history. The cute Crite. When I first watched this, I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. These Crites are horrible, asshole, ravenous dickheads that are eating everything and just, and they're horrible. Now they got a cute one. They're gonna reboot the series. Now we're gonna get into that. I wanna get through a lot of the little details, but like, there's so much I want to say about this movie. So let's just keep it going though. But the cute Crite is like, what the fucking fuck? And you can tell just the way the Crites are moving, just some little articulations and just different things, that there was way less animatronics used. There was a lot more just straight puppeteering and just little, like they weren't using as much of the budget on the Crites, and you can tell, and some of them even look kind of funky. Like some of them look like they might have been some of the original Crites used in one of the earlier movies, and they just did not hold up well over the years. Like they weren't kept in the best conditions. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But there's a lot more distinct Crite characters also. There's the bald one, there's the one with the white fucking hair thing. So it's like, in this one, they were like, let's make more distinct ones. There's a lot that look the same, but there's ones that look very different. So it's not just the maybe boss one that stands out from the rest, and we're like, okay, that's the guy, the guy that was bald in the one, and all the other shit. No, this one we also, we get the main boss one, but we get other ones that are almost like his main goons. Oh, the main Crite goons. Watch out for them. And I love how the kids naturally assume the white, furry, cute Crite is good because it's cute. Oh, it's cute. It must be good. It's like fucking kids, man. I mean, they were right in this instance, but it's like, kids, you shouldn't be watching this. But if for some reason you're watching this, you shouldn't be, because I put on all my videos. This is not made for kids because I drop F-bombs like it's fucking Nagasaki up in here. That was very insensitive. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for that. No, I'm not. Nobody watches these. It's not like I'm going to get way off the rails, but nobody's watching this. If you're watching this, well, congratulations. But anyway, kids, just because something's cute does not mean it's good. So, yeah, don't just assume things. Okay? Because you never know. That cute little fuzzy creature would be like, oh, look at that cute thing. And then it eats your fucking face off. And then all of a sudden, we got to read about your dumb ass in the newspaper like, blah, 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 his face eaten off by this creature because they thought it was cute and probably okay. And it's like, we're going like, okay, how the fuck does she know that the Crite is royalty? We're talking about Aunt D here, old D Wallace. And it's like, what the fuck's she been up to? Because, reading the thing, she's supposed to be a carry-on of her original character, I guess. She was supposed to be different. I don't know. There was some confusion. Like she kind of played it like she was her character carrying on or whatever. But like, and all the space rifle and tactical gear. It's like, okay, what if she is the same character? What the fuck has she been up to? Because there's a big, almost 30-year gap, and we don't even see any of these motherfuckers. We don't even see her since the first one, way back in the 80s. So it's even further down the road. So it's like, what's she been up to then? What's been going on? How does she? What is all this? Because we're just throwing at it. We're like, if you've only seen the very first one and then you watch this one, you're going to be like, what is up? She went from middle America housewife to this. What's going on here? And I love, like, they call it, like in the special features, they call it just the critter ball. I call it the Crite boulder because it definitely resembles the boulder from Raiders of the Lost Ark a lot. That's what it makes me think of. I don't give a shit. You don't have to like it, but that's what it makes me think of, okay? So I'm going to call it the Crite boulder. Do what I want. Grown-ass man, do what I want. Okay, but I love the return of the Crite boulder. And that's one of the things, so it's like, I'll go off a little list of the things they throw in there to harken back to tie it to the earlier films, even though this is definitely, they tried to reboot and a standalone film, which doesn't tie in with the earlier film. Other than the critters, it does not tie in. So there'll be little bits and pieces that kind of are small tethers that, so it's like, yes, we're still trying to be a part of that, but also be different. And I put down that, like, especially when they're running across, they're going to that shed to get the tools to fight the Crites, you see like 3 of them standing there on the grass, and they really look like junky Fraggles. I think it might be some of the ones that they used in some of the last movies that maybe didn't hold up well over the years. Like they didn't have enough money to make a lot more. Like they made some more, but they needed more. And they looked funky. They looked a little off. And yeah, they looked like just Fraggles that got hooked on smack. And just, that's them now. And they're just out being horrible. I already talked about how the rated R movie comes across as more PG-13 than the other PG-13s. And we find out that Aunt D is, if it's the same mofo lady, she's now a bounty hunter. She's one of the bounty hunters. She is a bounty hunter. That's one of the other things that ties it into the other movies. There's bounty hunters in all the other movies. You know, whether it's Ugg, not a bounty hunter anymore, but now a corporate motherfucker, still, he was a bounty hunter. Same thing with Charlie in part 4, where it's like he's not a bounty hunter at that time, but he almost jumps back into his bounty hunter role. You know, so boom, another tie to the first 4 movies. And the cute Crite? How about Queen Crite? Oh, she's not just cute, she's the queen of them all. Oh, of course, she couldn't just be a female Crite that for some reason this is our first time seeing a female Crite, even though the Crites came down to the planet and just kind of like laid eggs somehow. But now I guess there's females, so I don't understand. Like now if they're gonna do this, they gotta like how Crites actually reproduce, because they don't explain that. And I don't want to know like in real intricate detail. I don't need to know that, but there's got to be some kind of explanation, because if there's female Crites, but then it was the male Crites, so the shitheads that came down to the planet that laid their own eggs. There's a little gap. There's a little something there we got to fill in, because it's almost like they're asexual, but they're not. I don't understand. The Quills don't knock people out. So the Quills return, another tie-in to the first 4 movies, but they're not like making people paralyzed and knocking them out, making them goofy, making them sleepy. They're not doing that. And I was bummed out about that. I put boo, and I'm going to underline it now too on my notes. I'm going to underline it once and twice. I kind of did a little extra there, so it's like 2.5. I underlined it 2.5 times because boo, because part of that was like their hunting mechanism, their defense/hunting mechanism was the Quills makes their prey sleepy, tired, unconscious, whatever, and they eat them. That was supposed to be a part of it. So to kind of take that little bit of an element out, that's a bummer. That's kind of a bummer, because it's other than their teeth, that was like their other weapon, and it's ineffectual now, and I don't understand that. And there's more definition on the Crite boulder. You know, as you see, like in the other movie, I think there was some faces that you saw here and there, I think, but I don't think so. It was just a patchwork that looked like a patchwork of fur rolling around, a giant ball of patchwork fur rolling around. Well, this one you see a lot that there's like critter faces and heads there and everything like all over, and it's like, so they added a lot more definition to this motherfucker, which I thought was kind of cool. And it's still the same producers, which was awesome. You know, like I said, the only cast member from any of the other movies, Dee Wallace, returning. All the rest of the cast members completely new. Boom, same producers though. Harvey and Opper. Thank you guys for continuing with doing your critter stuff. I commend you. And then I put that overall, it was entertaining and kind of set up to be a standalone. Definitely made to be a reboot, but not as good as 1 through 4. You know why? Okay, this is what they tried to do with Critters Attack. They tried to reboot it, but they tried to reboot it with the same formula where they tried to make it family friendly, even though it's rated R. And some parents might be like, we can't because, you know, it's rated R, so I don't want my kids to watch it. So they kind of, you know, stepped a little more out from hiding behind a PG-13 rating, which maybe they couldn't. They would have had to make more cuts, and then it would have been even less of a Critters movie. But they tried to reboot it the same way as a family-friendly one. If you're going to reboot Critters, you got to make it horror. Like, you want to throw a little bit of humor in there? Okay. But you got to do it a little differently now. You did 1 through 4 as like they were mature movies, but they were family friendly. I'd say 4 probably the least, because kids would find it fucking boring. They would find 4 boring. It's less exciting. And maybe 3 to an extent. Like 1 and 2, those are the ones that I grew up on, and they're like super fun and exciting. You know, they are family. At least my generation. I don't know about the younger generation. They'd probably be like, oh, we can't watch this with our family. Fuck, we grew up watching that together, laughing, having fun, going, oh no, and the critters would eat somebody. But, you know, and Charlie doing his goofy stuff, we'd all laugh as a family. Oh, but yeah, if they were going to reboot this, like, I think if they're going to be serious about it and like maybe try for another movie, just go straight horror, man. You did like the let's try to be family friendly. Let's do that. Just go straight horror with it. Like, I think that would be absolutely fine. And because it's always been a horror movie, a sci-fi horror movie, but just maybe going full bore with it, like, would be the right way to go. Because the Crites themselves are perfectly set up for just being horrible, nasty, just straight horrific space creatures. And if I go back into space with it, I don't give a shit. Like, just do it wherever. But like, I think that if they're gonna do another movie, if they really are gonna try, like, maybe to reboot it again, because like I said, that was 2019. It's now 2025. So now we're 6 years down the road without another film. So the reboot maybe didn't kick off. So I don't know, if anybody affiliated with Critters happens to stumble across this, try that. Like, seriously, like, horror fans are gonna love it, especially as nostalgic motherfuckers, because those first 2 movies for real are the ones that really, those are the ones that everybody loves. Definitely the first one. The second one is also an extension of that first one. But like, going in the more horror direction, making them more horrific, I think would be pretty cool. It would show a more mature dimension to the Critters. And right now, the time is ripe for films that are like that. You know, I mean, Terrifier's doing shit. You got all these other horror movies that are just like, you know what? We're just gonna kind of like do straight on horror, like however we feel like doing it, and there you go. And it's been working. So I'd say if you really want to reboot, just go straight horror. It doesn't even matter if it's made for TV. Just fucking straight horror that shit. But yeah, this so far up through the 5th episode of this season, we've covered all of the Critters films of the franchise. All the Critters franchise films. 1 through 5. Critters, Critters 2, main course, Critters 3, Critters 4, and Critters Attack. Now, with the next episode, I've never seen it. I know almost nothing about it. I just know it stars Thomas Lennon, and I'm all for that and shit. But, and I have to watch it on Plex. You'll see in the description of this video that Critters Attack actually isn't on Tubi. So I couldn't post a Tubi link to it because it's not on Tubi. But there is, you can get the Blu-ray off Amazon for $8. So shit, man. If you don't have Critters Attack, you want to add it to your shit, put the link down there. $8 plus shipping and handling or whatever. Boom. Critters Attack is yours. Why not? I think I bought it pretty cheap, but I think I got it at Walmart. I think, for real, back in the day. But yeah, I'm gonna tackle the series. It's very short episodes. It was a web series, so the episodes are like really short. So I'm gonna tackle that next, and then after I do that, we're all going to sit down and talk about the Critters franchise as a whole, where it started, where it went, what we loved, what we were maybe a little disappointed about, and we will speak of all things Critters. So I'll see you on episode 6, because I've already signed your pity on the runny kind like as much as I can this time. I don't know what the fuck more you want from me. Okay, I can only do so much. So next time, yeah, we'll talk about the the short-lived reboot series, web series, Critters stuff. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name. I want to say the name, but I can't remember the fucking name. I can't remember. I just can't right now. All right. So until next time, Wadata. Let me just push this button right there. It's right there. Come on now, button.